Duncan-Williams' son, diagnosed with bipolar disorder. In fact, he's been diagnosed with acute bipolar disorder from 2016. Now, in 2020, June 2020, Duncan-Williams' son, by name Daniel, he is also called Danny. His friends call him the Wheels. Others call him Papa Shiloh. Oh my God. This is him. He was born in Accra. My brother, my sister, the last of Archbishop Nicholas Duncan-Williams' children. And he was born to Archbishop Duncan-Williams and his wife, Francisca Osei, a.k.a. Francisca Duncan-Williams. They divorced, my brother, my sister, some time ago. And now, Archbishop Nicholas Duncan-Williams is married to Madame Whittaker, all the way from the United States of America, a very powerful woman politically. In fact, she has her loins tied to the White House of America. Very powerful woman. She is a professional lobbyist and beyond. This is the new wife of Archbishop Duncan-Williams. They don't have any children yet, and we don't know if they plan to have children. But Duncan-Williams himself has 4 children, 2 males and 2 females. We have Elsie, we have Ella, we have Joel, and the last one is called Daniel. He's the subject of discussion today. Now, Daniel was born in Accra. In fact, on the 25th of August, 1995, he was born. And at a very young age, he started to smoke heavily. He drank heavily. He had sex as if he was a rabbit on heat. In fact, he would smoke, he would drink, and he would do a lot of things that would end up disgracing his father, the great Pentecostal Archbishop Duncan-Williams, charismatic Archbishop Duncan-Williams, the ever-praying Archbishop Duncan-Williams, the most powerful Archbishop Duncan-Williams. Oh my God. He's the father of Christian charismatism in Ghana. And to have a son who smokes heavily, drinks heavily, womanizes heavily, and does almost everything negative so heavily, it must be a scar on the mind of this great man of God. Sadly, in 2016, his son was diagnosed of acute bipolar. What triggered that? Smoking and drinking heavily. In fact, habits. And then in 2020, June of 2020, whilst he was in America, Virginia to be very specific, he was arrested by 5 policemen. He was so strong and so powerful, nobody could stop him. His hefty body pressed against the door was not easy to break through. He was picked up. In fact, he was also driving carelessly around town, and he put out a lot of pornographic material on social media and photos of himself naked, my brother, my sister. This is the gentleman called Daniel Duncan-Williams. My brother, my sister. And I tell you something, dash this and come here. Come here. Watch this. Hey, come here. Now, this gentleman called Daniel Duncan-Williams is an interesting personality. When he was arrested by the police in 2020, they wanted to take him straight to court. It took Archbishop Duncan-Williams to step through and say, you know what? My son is suffering from acute bipolar. He was diagnosed of this in 2016, 4 years before now. He has only relapsed. He had to move in and out of America trying to deal with this situation. Oh, the gentleman should have gone to jail for what he did. But because of what he supposedly was going through, he ended up undertaking a program and a few other such things, and he was set free. From when he returned to Ghana, oh, it's never been easy. He's lived in London, also lived in Virginia, in America. Oh my God. This is the Willis. Oh yes, the Wheels. You can also call him Papa Shiloh. Oh my God. Now this gentleman here has told us his own story. And it is heart-touching. For some time now, he has been trying to confine himself to some kind of discipline. He has tried to confine himself to some kind of decorum. He goes to church. He reads the Bible. He has started training in the gym. He does press-ups almost every morning. And he eats healthy. A lot of the time, vegetarian meals. He's lost a lot of weight. In this tape I am about to play you, it is sad and it will bring tears into your eyes. I need us to watch this. And when we return, I got more. This is Daniel talking to us about how he was diagnosed with acute bipolar. And it tells us exactly what it is. When we return, we got more. Watch this.
You know, I know that there are many misconceptions, lies, and negative images of me out there on the internet, in your social circles, at work, at home, stuff like that. So I just want to take a minute to clear all that up. In 2016, I was diagnosed with bipolar disorder, which, if you don't know what that is, it is a mental illness which has to do with emotions, overwhelming emotions. Um, Long story short, my bipolar had to do with being triggered by substance abuse. A lot of marijuana, alcohol, different substances, stuff like that. But I'm making this message to say that that was my old life, okay? In the past, I would say 2 to 3 years, I made a decision that I was going to turn my life around and change my life for the better. And how was I going to do that? I was going to choose sobriety. Is it hard to wake up every day and say that I'm not going to do the same stuff I used to do every day on a normal basis? Things that I created as habits? Smoking, drinking, having promiscuous sex, all kinds of negative things. Is it hard to not do that anymore? Yes, it's hard. But if I can let go of those habits and build new habits like exercising, eating well, reading, getting knowledge, doing classes, talking to people who actually have their heads on straight, I will build new habits. I guess all I'm trying to say from this video is that please forget every negative misconception that you have of me out there. Because guess what? I love myself, and I am not going to give up on myself. My dad always says something. He says, Danny, I don't want you to do anything for me, but do it for Daniel, and never give up on Daniel. Guess what, Dad? I'm never giving up on Daniel. And this is something I want you guys to know. So thank you for all the love. Thank you for all the support. Thank you for all the encouragement. Sorry I took up a little bit of your time, but this is what was on my heart. Love you so much. God bless you.
Wow. The Wheels. Papa Shiloh. He reads the Bible. These days, he does his exercises. He eats healthy. And in this tape, he touched me so very hard. In fact, the habits he created for himself, he's asking, is it difficult to stop those? And his father, Archbishop Duncan-Williams himself, was a hardcore reggae lover and marijuana smoker. One of his favorite artists was Jimmy Cliff, who himself never smoked anything as ever recorded. Archbishop Duncan-Williams is the father of Christian charismatism right here in Ghana. He has been embarrassed by this guy over and over. If he had his own way, he will shut the door so he will not see this guy again. But these days, they are getting closer and closer. How many people in Ghana knew that the Wills, aka Papa Shiloh, aka Daniel Duncan-Williams, was ever diagnosed with acute bipolar? And anytime he tries to come back and conform to some form of cordiality, some form of decorum, he relapses. 5 American police officers took him in, chained him, but it came out that this was a bipolar person. He posted naked videos of himself doing obscene dances and so on and so forth. His father would always have to be called on to say something for his son. My brother, my sister, when Valentine's Day came a few days ago, he bought a beautiful gift for his girlfriend. My brother, my sister, and even though it was a late gift, he apologized and gave it to his girl, as you can see in this video, and she was screaming with excitement. He has now saddled himself to one woman, my brother, my sister, and this is the woman we are talking about. They are having a really good time. Her name is Elvira, and the Wales is doing everything possible to stay with this one woman and also to keep himself in the word of God. Time after time, you will see him preaching on social media, and he does everything possible to stay away from all the intoxicants. He now drinks a lot of fruit juices. He does a lot of exercises, and he is as close to his father as possible. Now, the interesting thing about this guy, he said one thing his father told him, which he will never forget. He said, don't do it for me. Do it for Daniel, you. And from that time, he has told himself that however he was able to get himself diagnosed with acute bipolar, he will go through this same route and undo every bipolar and hold on to his true calling. All Archbishop Duncan-Williams' children are in the ministry. Some of them are bishops like Joel. This is the only one who seems to be the Muonse of the family, the so-called black sheep of the family. But it looks like he has retraced his path. He is standing firm and strong, even after the acute bipolar disorder in 2016. The smoking of marijuana, drinking alcohol, and sleeping around just anyhow. He said if he's still alive, then there must be some strong force that is keeping him. His father himself went through some of these things right from the beginning, but at the end of it all, he is the father of Christian charismatism here. He has asked his congregation to pray for Danny, aka the Wheels, aka Papa Shiloh. Oh, time and again, they keep praying for him. In fact, the Archbishop himself said there was a time he himself struggled with wine. And even up to recent times, he was still drinking wine. And up there at Burj Khalifa, he almost jumped like a bird from the topmost part of Burj Khalifa in Dubai because he was high on wine. He took his wife. Madam, we take her to tell him, take it slow. Take it easy. You are a man of God who is so respected. You can't be dealing with this thing called wine. My brother, my sister, it looks like God is telling yet another story. And it looks like my very good friend D. Wheels, a.k.a. Papa Shiloh, a.k.a. Danny, a.k.a. Daniel Duncan-Williams, born to Archbishop Nicholas Duncan-Williams and Francisca Osei, a.k.a. Francisca Duncan-Williams, is ready to take on a new mantle. And we are here to give him all the support we can. It's not easy for somebody to be diagnosed with acute bipolar to return that easily. In this video, it looks like he's simply telling everybody, when you see me relapse time after time, be patient with me. I am not doing it for anyone. I am doing it for Danny. I am doing it for Daniel. How many people would take this as a strong lesson and say, this substance abuse, I am stopping it. I'm going to wear my original cloak. I am going to walk like me and disgrace whatever elements pushed me into this. This is the story of Danny, D. Wheels, Papa Shiloh, Daniel Duncan-Williams. And we wish him all the very best as we continue to pray with him and for him. But it is also a great lesson to us. Those of us who believe that everything we do is spiritual. We don't have to see a doctor. And as long as we have some holy water or some oil, then everything is everything. The doctor has its importance. There were some disciples of Jesus Christ who were medical doctors. My brother, my sister, Jesus himself was the greatest medical doctor. He was the master healer. He could have healed people without using plants and some other things that he used. But he just wanted to tell people, listen, much as it is spiritual, some of these things can be dealt with physically. That was why sometimes he spat onto the ground, mixed it up with the earth, and then he smeared that on the eyelids of some people who were visually impaired, and they sprang to life. That was why it was necessary for people to jump in some water and all that. That was why it was necessary for people to touch his cloak and be healed. He could have just healed them without touching them. But it's a way to tell you, marry the physical with the spiritual. If you are sick, go and see the doctor. That is the purpose of the doctor. And if the doctor is not able to deal with it and he almost gives up, that is when you can go and deal with it spiritually or combine the two. Better still, this is the son of Archbishop Duncan-Williams who is sick. He hasn't laid hands on him to heal him. Maybe this man has healed tens of thousands of people of more chronic diseases, but his own son is still out there. If he had any power to heal this man, I'm sure he would have healed him to avoid all the disgrace. But power belongs to God. He decides who to allow the power to apply to and be used on. My brother, my sister, this is the story of Daniel Duncan-Williams. And thanks so much to the Archbishop who humbled himself and asked his congregants to pray for his boy. He himself has prayed over and over, hid this situation from the public until the whole issue broke all bounds and came out like the Harmattan wind that can never ever be subdued. It's the Black Pot, aka Kukushonemo, where we speak truth to power.